Hello? Allô? Allô? Dígame. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, you guys can hear me now. Sometimes I love ya. Anyways, as I was saying, this energy is fabulous. It's fabulous. It's a lot of energy. And when I asked what this reading was going to be about, what I ended up hearing is everything you've been waiting for. Yes, Lindsay, tomorrow is the 111 portal. That's the 111 portal. And I will be going live. Thank you for the reminder. Oh, no, thank you for the reminder. I'm going to be going live and I'm going to be doing expedites. If you would like me to work on you, or if you would just like to see what I have available for tomorrow, go check it out. Click on that QR code or the link in the comment, and you'll be able to see all of the amazing offerings that I have. As promised, I am definitely stepping further into publicly offering services that can greatly enhance your health. New moon in Capricorn, it's my time to shine, baby. Oh my gosh, is my time. You guys, oh my God. Speaking of it being time, I have to show you something. Okay, hold up. Hold up. You guys need to see this. I'm serious. You guys need to see this. Look at this. Who's your daddy? You. I'm saying. I'm just saying. Just admire that for a moment. Woo! I'm getting the cards ready and I'm just saying. What? Who? You. Okay. Okay. Who's your daddy? You. I'm just saying, people be thinking because I don't, and I'm getting the cards ready, but I had to pull this card. Because, my husband never comes on the live streams with me. He just doesn't. He doesn't want to. Hi, Mariah. He doesn't want to. He feels like this is my space, and that should just be that. But like I told you guys, this man is so beastie. It's like stop. Stop. Oh my God, stop it. Okay, like, I mean, do you guys need to see it from a different angle? Because we can make that happen. I took quite a few pictures of him at the gym. This morning we arrived and I was kind of like setting myself up at the Smith machine. And, I look over and I see that he has decided to work out beside me on his own Smith machine. And I'm like, hey. Oh, my kids are probably like, stop it. You guys are gross. Yes. So he's like working out on the Smith machine beside me, and he's doing I don't even know what he was doing. He was doing the bench press. He was doing the bench press. And then I was like calculating the weight that he was pushing. I was like, oh my God, that's more than I weigh. Because he's been saying he's going to bench press me, right? And I'm just like, yeah, no, you can. You absolutely can. Okay, that's enough. Stop admiring my husband. That's my job. Okay, let me just stop already. And let me just give you a little bit of feedback for that image as I prepare the cards. Okay, you know what that is? I'll show you one more time. Hold on. I was walking behind him through one of the rooms, and he was carrying a large basket of laundry. He's gonna go do laundry. And I was like, oh, wait. I was like, oh, wait. I got to take a picture of this. And he's like, what? Just hold on. That's what that's from. I'm saying, what more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? He's beastly. He cooks. Oh my God. He adores me. I'll fight a bitch for this guy. Holy shit. Okay. I've decided. It took me like 25 years to decide that. And it is what it is at this point. Okay, let's get started. Let's stop messing around. Let's get started. Whew. All right. All right. I don't want to fight anyone. I don't want to fight anyone. You see, that's the key to having a very happy long-term relationship, is that you're never put in a position or made to feel as though you need to compete with someone else for their attention, for their affection, that anyone else is getting their affection. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's the key. That is the key. Okay? So let's get started, guys. Everything you've been waiting for. There is so much going on here with this energy, right? So much going on with this energy. You can feel the loading of your potential. You can feel, and it's high pitched right now. I am picking up a very high pitched sound. Trying to figure out what that means. Like communications are coming through. Hmm. Hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Hold on, guys. I just need to document something. Just because. Just does not disappoint. Does not disappoint. Okay. All right. So here goes. Guardian in reverse. Whatever this is that's happening, whoever is trying to contradict what is happening to you, the goodness, right? It's too fucking late. It's too late. It's too late. Everything is already documented. You don't feel like playing today? Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Everybody, you know, it's too late. You go ahead and you just fucking be banned, right? It's too late. It's too late, right? It's too late. Hold on. La 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 la. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Let's see. All right. Everything's documented. Thank you. Carrying on. All right. Carrying on. Go ahead and report that if you guys feel the need to. Winter. So we're smack dab in winter at this point, right? We are smack dab in winter. And a lot of what's happening is the removal of the protections that those who have been trying to contradict, trying to negate your goodness from coming through, your abundance from being experienced. Yeah, no, no. Everything that you've been working hard for, it's being allowed to be pushed through. Everything that you're working so hard for is pushing through. Whatever is being done in the background to try and dissuade you, distract you, detract from your purpose and your mission objective, right? This is not just a goal. This is a mission objective that you have at this point. Their power over you is being removed. Their power over you is absolutely being removed. And it's about time. They have no guardian, they have no power, they have nothing, right? This is what's happening right now. So, with that being put out there at this point, you have the clarity you need for whatever that is, right? You have the clarity already. Now you can just go ahead and move forward. Recalibrate, right? Recalibrate your focus towards what you need to do. Whatever that is, that's what you're focusing on. Now, I was already told that, like right from the start, before this live stream even started, the cards were already telling me that there would be some parasitic caca. Yeah, that's out. That's out, right? Using me as an example, as a template for how to move through your journey. It's addressed, it's removed, carrying forward. Incubation. So there's been something that's been being allowed to kind of just percolate, kind of just, bake a little bit longer. Oh, these clips are making my head hurt. Oh no. I'm so tender-headed these days. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I used to be so not tender-headed, and then I don't know what happened, but now I gotta like let my hair do whatever it's gonna do. It is gonna be what it's gonna be. It's gonna be as big as it wants to be. I was trying to tone it down a little bit. It refuses for days now. It's refused to tone down. Oh, it's indicative of my power. What's going on with your hair? Serious question. What's going on with your hair? Have you noticed that your hair is acting different? Like it's laying different. It feels different. Maybe the texture is different. Maybe it's a lot bigger. Maybe it's a lot more smooth. Like, pay attention to your hair for the next few days so that you could get a good idea of what your power is doing. Hair is an extension and an indication of your power. So if it's a hot mess, that means you need to take time to kind of address some of the things that are happening with your hair. Has it become too dry, meaning you are too depleted? Is it needing rejuvenation? Is it needing some type of hair mask? Um, you know, something. I don't know. I don't know. Um, okay, so stringy. That's telling me that, it's been coated with something and there needs to be a clearing happening, right? You need to clear out, you need clarification. If it's falling out, that means there's something that you need to get to the root of, right? Oh, this is fascinating. This is super fascinating. I never even thought of that. I never even thought of that, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Hmm. Hmm. I think for many of us, what our hair is communicating is that there are adjustments needing to be made. And whatever these adjustments are, you know, once you make these adjustments, everything you've been waiting for is coming. It's coming, right? Um, longer batches of hair. Maybe that's indicative of your growth, your internal growth being um somewhat uneven, like certain parts of you are accelerating in its development and other parts are not. And so maybe we need to make sure there's a balance in what we're paying attention to. Not all spiritual, not all logic, right? You have to have some type of I guess some type of tactical plan as you approach this. Your power, it feels like it's surging. You know? It definitely feels like it is surging, right? Mine was super dry after a wash. I did leave my conditioner on for a couple hours, but I thought that would have the adverse effect. Do you know what I'm saying? I kind of feel that too. um, I kind of feel that too, right? Um, so incubation, there's something that's being allowed to bake. There's something that's being allowed to kind of um, come into better form, more solidified in its nature, so that when it comes to fruition, um, it's not so haphazard. It's not so, I wouldn't say chaotic, because we need to be careful about categorizing chaos, all chaos, as something negative. Some of the most powerful forms of energetic expression are rooted in chaos. Chaos being another word for cosmos, right? We were created from chaos, from cosmos. So, union, you're about to come into union with something. You're about to have um, things that it seems like it's a break that happened and the ends are super frayed, and then it's like a coming back together, right? So something that was fractured, fractionated, it's coming back together, it's coming back into union. There's an alignment that's occurring. This might be the part of you that you felt broke away and fell off as you were going through whatever period you were going through. Mm, mm, okay. Michaela. Michael says, well, you did ask for the return of all the things you once let go of. That's true. Yes. Yes. It is true. It is a yes. No, it's true. We did ask for that. I specifically asked for that. Um, hmm. I think now is a good time to kind of make sure that what you asked for is healthy for you, right? Because I was very general in what I asked for. Like, whatever I let go of, that's a part of my purpose, a part of my divine destiny. I want it back. Now, if you ask for something specific back, you better make sure it's healthy for you, because if it's not, um, like, we kind of just got to make sure, okay? Now, as you are in this process, there's nothing that needs to be changed or transformed or turned into something else. Excuse me. There isn't. Everything is happening in perfect time and measure. And this isn't about rehashing what's happened in the past. This is about accepting the past cannot be changed. It cannot be altered. Your perception of what happened in the past and its purpose in your life can absolutely be shifted. But there's no need to continue to rehash the traumas that got you to where you're at right now. Um, those traumas, it serves as a guide, like a guidebook. And you're probably like, what? Trauma is serving as a guidebook? Well, yeah, listen, come closer. Come closer. So, these things that you've been through, if you can kind of just extrapolate from that the pertinent information that will help you to better understand the trajectory of your um, purpose, we'll use the word purpose, then what ends up happening is you begin to understand how some of these things are meant to grow you and how to grow yourself without experiencing those traumas again. Right? So, um, I had not too long ago made an exception for a specific type of circumstance. Um, it was a little bit of a difficult circumstance because I got triggered by it, and I got triggered by what someone said, and I was just in my head. I was thinking, okay, let me just, you know, I guess give the appearance of being fair and just completely resolve this so there's nothing that can be said and then just carry forward, right? So that it could just be done. And literally within a few hours, the same situation repeated again. Excuse me, with a different person. Same degree of like nastiness in communication and whatnot. And this time I'm like, I know exactly why this is happening again. No fucking exceptions. No fucking exceptions. Submit everything that needs to be submitted. Just patiently wait for a finalized decision and make it clear that policy procedure will be followed strictly. There will be no exceptions, no one time anything, because fuck that shit. No. Abso-fucking-lutely not. So that was my stance. That was my stance. And it took me a few hours to process that because um it did trigger a rehashing. Remember, the cards are telling us, right? It did. It did. It triggered a rehashing of certain things, previous things, seeing the different cycles, how I am the root of the causation that leads to the effect of me repeating the experience over and over with others, right? So now I woke up the following day with the guidance. It's very solid in me and like, no, that's going to go however it's going to go. Submitted everything. Again, just patiently waiting for a um, finalized decision to be handed over to me or to my team, and then closing that out and however that needs to be responded to, that it will be responded to, and that's just that, right? Removing my emotions from any of it. I gave myself quite a few hours to process this because although it was one situation, just one situation, what ended up happening was it triggered the remembrance and the processing of multiple situations before that. That didn't involve the person involved with the final situation, right? So I saw the pattern. That whenever I make exceptions like that, because I mean, let's face it, I have a tendency to be extremely overly patient with people's just flat out fuckery. Um, and I tend to make excuses for people. That's why I'm not to be involved in those types of decisions. I submit all of the applicable policies and all of that, and it's decided without my input based on policy, not emotion. And I'm seeing now that was such a powerful process that I had allowed myself to go through, right? Recalling that specific circumstance, that was such a powerful process for me to go through because it really solidified like, hey, these are the ways in which I'm still allowing this tiny sliver of a space for something to slip through and create issues for me, create internalized issues. I'm not doing that anymore. I refuse. I'm not doing that anymore. I refuse. I refuse. And wouldn't you know, the following day, like looking back at those different circumstances, the following day from that final event, ooh, I got a communication that just like, closure is on the horizon. It's almost here. Closure is on the horizon. Everything you've been waiting for. I've been waiting for the restoration of my peace. I've been waiting for the restoration of my stillness. And in that space of waiting, all the way through till right now, I just experienced such a profound realization. I've been waiting for the restoration of something I've always only been the one to be able to control, to push away or bring to me. My peace, only I can bring that to me. Only I can restore that. My stillness, only I control the stillness. Hot diggity damn. Baby boo. Baby boo. This entire time, I was waiting for something, someone to provide some degree of deliverance from. Lo and behold, I've only really been waiting for me. Everything you've been waiting for. Coming to a realization. You're the only thing in your life that is worth waiting for. Wow. And it's not that you're not you. It's that you haven't allowed yourself to recognize how much power and influence you have over yourself and your journey. It was only ever about you this entire time. And that's all everything will ever be about for all future events, what you can learn from it, how you can grow from it, the ways in which this knowledge can then be harvested and applied to a future event as wisdom. Man, the more I think about it, the more it is harder to ignore and pretend that life is not so beautifully and carefully orchestrated by soul to give you such a profound understanding of just how powerful you are over your journey. Like, wow, it's only ever been about you. Let's look at the other cards. Woo. Okay. So all your parts are coming back. You're coming back home to you. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. The map maker of destiny, authentic purpose, inspiration, and free will. You are the map maker, and you are charting your destiny. With every decision that you make, every experience that you have, the way you receive that experience, the way you interpret what you receive, that is what is determining what direction you plot onto your map of destiny. The diamond dreamer, material wealth, true prosperity. I'm telling you right now, the process that you're in, if it's a difficult process, if it's felt like, oh my gosh, this has been the most challenging, the most like WTF, um, it's worth it. It's worth it. You want to know why it's worth it? You're being allowed to choose which way you will go in order to receive your material wealth and your true prosperity. Right now, everything that's happening in your life is designed to do this. It's designed to bring you that much closer, right? That much closer to your divine wealth, your true wealth. So let me just put these there. The sacred union, partnership, romance. All right. All right. What's actually happening here? Okay. Michael says to reassess. We'll leave these two cards out so that we could properly reassess. Oh, 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 Lord. Oh, Lord. So, this union, this coming together of what needs to be together is what's being incubated. This coming together of what needs to be together is what's being incubated, right? That's what's being baked. So that's telling me that is telling me it's the same message again, that a specific individual um for you needs to be a part of your journey for I don't know how long. It's not very clear how long. Um, part of the reason they need to be a part of your journey, if even just to have some conversation, is because they're going to be the impetus for your growth. It's the same message. This message has come forward quite a few days in a row, right? This individual is a spirit whisperer for you. They offer divine guidance and higher knowing. And whatever this divine guidance is and higher knowing, um, it's really designed to help you reach higher levels of understanding and acceptance of self. So that way you can start making the appropriate considerations for how you will move through this process. Because it's important to note at the end of this, you are still absolutely in control of your journey. There's your path and someone else's path are going to intersect. I feel like that is unavoidable at this point. I feel like soul is letting you know that is unavoidable. That's fine. You know, that doesn't mean that you have to be under someone's thumb. Sorry. It doesn't mean you have to be under someone's thumb. It doesn't mean that someone has more of a say in your journey than yourself. It just means whoever this is for you, they're going to affect you in such a way that it will alter the way you see things, right? The way you see things. All right. Protein done. Recovery is next. Sorry. Okay, so whoever this is for you, they are a reflection of you, the lady of the mirror. They are a reflection of you, and you are a reflection of them. Okay. Um, the way you guys reflect each other, there's not any judgment there. It's just an understanding and a knowing that they will help to rise or raise to the surface of your awareness the things you have to be aware of about yourself. So someone can do that in a matter of days, in a matter of weeks, days, I'm not sure. It doesn't have to be a prolonged, protracted thing. Um, the last time I went through a ridiculously massive ascension, um, or one of the more recent ascension cycles that I went through that was huge. Um, okay, but I just want to clarify. Michael's the one that's having me remember this. This is not something this is not something that's just like lives in my head. Michael is the one reminding me of this. So there was an ascension cycle that was massive, um and it initiated because my path crossed with an individual, and there was only interaction for a couple weeks. Like, I don't even know how many weeks. I don't know, maybe a month. Um, might have just been like a month. I don't know. I don't know. It was not a long interaction at all. But in that short period of interaction, um, it really served as the impetus for tremendous amounts of growth, right? Tremendous amounts of growth within me. And it did not require further interaction than um, what was already, I guess, logged in Soul's work log. See what I'm saying? So don't be so quick to be adverse to whoever this might be. There is nothing in the cards that is telling me that you have no choice but to be in some type of sexual encounter with an individual. Like, no. No, not at all. That's not the message. The message that I'm getting is there is, in fact, an individual that you do need to have some degree of interaction with. The depth of interaction is highly contingent on what you will allow, and that interaction is going to be like the jumping off point for you. You're going to see life change tremendously. You're going to see all of these different aspects of you suddenly being very apparent to you. Parts of you that you didn't realize, this is how others receive me. This is the effect that this part of me has on those specific types of people. Like, just really becoming super duper aware. The hungry ghosts, obsessions, scarcity consciousness, and attachment. For some of us, we are so hungry, so hungry for a depth of connectivity that once we encounter a person who has an intense resonance with us, we automatically assume, like, okay, this is it. This is my chance. I'm now going to be obsessed with you and you're mine. And like, relax. I'm being serious. Relax. Relax. Um, Not everyone that you have intense resonance with is destined to be in your life long term. Let that just kind of sink in. Let that be received deeply within you. Not everyone that you have such an intense resonance with is meant to be in your life long term. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and let's take this a step further. Let's take this a step further. Uh, let's let's give ourselves permission to enter into the subject matter of twin flames. Okay? Um, we'll start with my husband. This sexy ass man. Anyways, let me just stay focused. Let me stay focused. um so my husband and I have been together for 25 years. Love it. Love him. I don't just love him because he's been like a major part of my life for more than half my life at this point. No, I'm like actively in love with this man, right? He's not just someone that I love because we've known each other for so long and we've been through so much together. Like, no, there is an active romantic love that is existing inside me towards this man. He's not a twin anything. He's not a twin anything. People assume that just because uh, you're in a relationship with someone and you want them in your life long term for the rest of your life, that they have to be categorized as a twin. You could ask my husband, "Are you twins?" Like some days, because I am this type of person, I like to aggravate him sometimes. I just do. What? What? I like to aggravate him sometimes. And so sometimes when I'm in that type of mood, I'll totally be like, "What's up, twin twin?" I'd say to him, like, "Twin flame, twin flame." And he goes, "Yeah." Yes. Yes. Those conversations sometimes will happen. They're only a few seconds long, but sometimes they do. He's not interested in being any type of T word. And no, just because I don't affix that label on him does not mean what we have is not real, is not something so deep. It doesn't mean it isn't something that I have intact memories of that I've waited many lifetimes for. I've been in love with this man for a very long time. Very, very, very long time, spanning across multiple lives. This is the first life where we actually have a full-on long-term relationship and we have the family and, this is the first time we've been able to have that. He's not a twin. He doesn't need any of those labels. All I need is to know beyond any shadow of any doubt, he is the love of my soul. Always. That's all I need to know because that's what I feel. I feel that so deeply. Now, you ask me, well, what about twins, Emmy? Oh, I found quite a few of mine. I have. I have. Amazing people. Amazing. Are any of them in my life? No. Once in a great while, there's a couple of them that I will like reach out to, you know, be like, hey, what you doing? What you up to? We just catch up. And we might like chat about all sorts of random things for a day or two, and then, we go right back to silence. Silence, right? I don't need to be in a romantic relationship with any of them. None of them try to take ownership of me. None of them are obsessed with me like that. All of them have a very clear understanding of my demeanor, my attitude. Like, you don't fucking cross boundaries with me. You don't have to be on eggshells, but there's certain things like, nah. Nah, you don't get liberties with me. I hold you to a whole nother fucking standard of you're my twin. You know how shit should affect me. Don't. Don't. But what have you been up to? that's that's my connection with twins. I don't own you, you don't own me. If I in the rare instances where I've felt one of my twins needs me for some reason, um, yeah, of course. What do you need? How can I help? Is everything okay? Oftentimes, I'll just be aware after the fact, like, oh, part of my consciousness went to assist them. For with what? For what? I don't know. But I feel their energy so intensely, like something's happening. And if it goes away in a day, like, they got it. They got it. They're handling whatever they need to handle. They got it. They don't need me to reach out and mother them. And no, they grown ass people. They got it. But if it continues and continues and continues, I have a tendency to reach out like, hey, you okay? You just like, you keep popping into my thoughts. What's wrong? Are you all right? What's happening? What can I help with? See, that's a twin. That's a twin, right? That's how twins interact, respecting each other's space, being able to discern when your presence is needed and when they're just going through something kind of rough, maybe a little bit challenging. And they got this though. They're capable. Now, some very, very rare, very, very, very rare, right? I would say maybe like 1% of the population, maybe even less than that. Um, they are in active romantic union with their twin. And that's usually because it's difficult for one of those twin pairs, one person within that pair, to learn what they need to learn. So they need to be constantly exposed to their twin to be continued to be triggered to learn, right? So, what needs to happen now? We need to release this preconceived notion that this person coming back is a person that we've been extremely like been in very nasty situations with. Okay. And yeah, now we have to re-enter into a romantic connection with them because see, we were supposed to be together and no, stop it. For real. Stop. Stop. This is a person who has some depth of connectivity with your soul, might not even be the person you're thinking, assuming that it is. They have a very deep connectivity with your soul. They are not owning you. You are not owning them. There is an interaction that needs to take place. It might even just be a conversation. It might be, you're going down the street one way and they're turning the other way, and you literally cross the intersection and they happen to see you. No words exchanged. It could be something as simple as that. But the effects on your learning and your energy, it's very profound. Very, very, very profound. There are several instances stored in my memory banks of that type of thing happening, like me seeing someone in a parking lot that I'm driving past, and I'm like, "Oop." I did not stop. I did not wave. I don't think they saw me. And I'm good. I'm good. But that definitely sparked my energy, and it caused me to begin to be aware of certain processes, energetic processes that were happening inside me. And that's all that I needed. That was all I needed. Right. And for some of you might have been like, oh, you just should have said hi to a stranger. Say hi to a stranger? I don't know about that one. I'm I don't I'm not friendly like that. I'm just not. I'm not stuck up, but I'm not friendly like that. Like that feels weird to me. It feels unsafe. It does. I don't do that kind of thing. Well, sometimes I do. I mean, I don't know. It depends. Did I just drink my pre-workout? I'll wave at everybody. Okay? I'll wave at everybody, right? That's the only time. I'll share this with you guys. So, this one gym that my husband and I used to go to, uh, in order to get to the gym, we would need to pass by a high school. And the time that we end up passing the high school, because we usually would end up being late in the morning, like running a little bit late, the high school students were already arriving. And so there's a crossing guard. This old gentleman had seen us passing by the school so often. We never interacted until one day, um, we were at the stop sign, and he and I happened to lock eyes. And I don't know, his energy was super friendly. And I was like, and then he waved, just like, hi. And I was like, I waved. And my husband was cracking up. He's like, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, I waved at him. So that's the extent of my socializing in real life. Yeah, that's the extent of it. Card number 23, move forward. It's time for you to move forward. You've been stuck in a space for quite some time that has caused you to really seriously question the validity of your perception. You're valid, boo. You're valid. Are you sure? What did I say? Are you sure I'm valid? Yes. But you don't even know what I'm thinking. The fact that you thought it is valid. You're valid. See, I don't think you were looking for validation. I think what you were looking for this whole time, it wasn't validation. It was for someone to tell you what to do so that if it fails, it's not your fault. It's because you listened to so and so. No, 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 no. You got to move forward even from that type of behavior. Everything you've been waiting for is arriving soon. I hear imminent. Ooh, wait, 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 wait. What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay. Um I'm not sure how it fits in, but I hear the term uh, eminent domain. So let me read this again. Okay. So the taking of private property and converting it into public use. No person must be deprived without due process. I think um the feel that I get, and I would need to sit with this for quite some time to really understand the gravity of the message here. The sense that I get is that you're not going to be deprived unjustly. You're not going to be deprived of your time and your space because your auric field is your property um, unjustly. So it's not like you need to interact with this individual, going back to the earlier subject. You don't need to interact with this individual strictly for their gain. You will be justly compensated for this. Um, might not be something you want to do, might not be your idea to do it, to interact, to intersect each other's paths, but it's something that needs to happen. It's agreed upon by both the souls. And again, that intersection is what's agreed upon. What happens after your paths intersect, it's completely up to the both of you. There needs to be full agreement for a continuation of connectivity, or there's no connectivity that's going to continue. So it's not like you are being bamboozled into a space of compliance, putting off challenging conversations. I'm not even joking. That's what it says. Okay. That was the factor I needed. So the whole concept of eminent domain, right? Where part of your property, your possession is going to be taken, and you will be justly compensated for this. And it's something that is utilized for public use, public benefit. Um, and when you apply this concept to spiritual matters, there's a part of your journey that's going to be utilized, and you don't really get a say in this. You can try and fight it, but you're probably not going to win this. You don't get a say in this because it's being allowed for the benefit of the collective whole. But you're not going to enter into this without appropriate compensation, meaning you are going to benefit from it as long as you allow yourself to learn what needs to be learned, of course. You are going to benefit from this as much, if not more, than the collective whole, as well as the person you're being pushed into an interaction with. Okay? So, soul is basically saying in a very roundabout way, this intersection of paths, uh, it's a Palladorian contract. Your paths must intersect. Now, your path is not going to intersect with someone let me just let myself be triggered for a moment. You're not going to have to deal with a fucking disgusting pig. Okay. I'm speaking specifically of stalkers and people who have been disrespectful of your sovereignty, disrespectful of your dignity, have tried to dominate you, and all of these other things. I'm speaking about someone in fucking specific. Just let me be triggered for a second. Ooh! Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Let me just fucking take some of my. I'm going to take some red clover. Mm-hmm. Red clover. I need to cleanse my blood of this toxicity. Mm-hmm. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. All right. We're not talking about people like that. I know people like that exist. Trust me, I know, boo. No, those people, they're not allowed to come around you. Your soul, listen to me really, really well here, please. I ask you to please really hear what I'm about to say, okay? Your soul will never ask you to reconnect with a person who has been harmful to you. That's not to say some of us won't begin to look for signs as to why we should reconnect with the most toxic motherfucker we know, right? Your soul is never going to ask you to do that. Your soul is never going to ask you to harm someone else in retaliation. That is all demonic, parasitic thought inception attempts to pull you from your space of peace, your space of centeredness, from your personal power, and from your integrity. Soul does not ask people to do these types of things. It just does not. Case in point, there was a situation. It was I needed to go to a function. It was not my event, right? That's an important thing to note, because if it is not your event, it is not your place to dictate who can come and who cannot. And so it wasn't my event. It was not my place to do that. And what did I do? I considered going. Anyways. And it was kind of this thing of like, you know, if it's just me, then, maybe I could just keep my mouth shut and just, not interact with this person who has been very malignant. Um, Maybe that's what I'll do. And then Soul said to me, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I didn't understand the question. I was like, what do you mean, am I sure? Are you sure that you can control yourself and your emotions with this degree of trigger in your face? Because this event, it's important to you to not be disrespectful to the people who are hosting the event. It is important to you to continue to exist with your dignity intact. And if you don't have the capacity to remain fully in control of yourself and your emotions, your words, and your actions, that will affect your perception of your dignity. It will cause you to see yourself in a degraded manner. You will not behave in the way you choose and prefer to behave, full of integrity, full of dignity, full of respect for the people you respect. And I had to sit quietly like, whoa, no, I don't know that I could control myself. I don't know that I can control myself. And I ran through these different scenarios um, because of what I had experienced due to this individual, and it was very severe. And the way that had affected people that I love tremendously. I ran through these scenarios in my head and I was like, okay, if you happen to see this person in person and they're being fake and they're trying to be nice to you, like in front of other people, and then like sneering at you when no one is looking, what are you going to do? Are you going to be able to be fake nice? Play the role, be fake nice. And every type of different scenario that I came up with, very passive aggressive, just like how the person would behave. I saw myself doing only one thing, becoming immediately, instantly reactive and clawing the fucking shit out of their face in front of everybody and not stopping. Yeah. That's just, that's all I kept seeing over and over, every single scenario over and over. Me not being able to control myself and my actions, my words, my feelings, being strictly reactionary, reactive. And in that reactivity, um, being very physically aggressive. So then Soul asked me again, are you sure? And I said, if I'm going to be honest with myself, which I deserve to be honest with myself, I will not be able to handle myself. And if I'm going alone, I would not have the appropriate support structure to tell me, like, no, don't do that. You don't want to act like that. You said it yourself. Let me remind you. Let me hold you. Let me be a blanket of protection for you. Right? And so the only thing I could think of was to privately contact the host and be like, hey, I want to be really respectful of what this event is and of you guys. You guys mean a lot to me. Um, is so and so going? Because if they are, and no, I'm not asking you to not invite people. This is your event. It's your guys' time. But if they are going, I'm gonna bow out and I'll just send a gift. I'll make sure the gift gets there before the event. So that way you guys will have something from me and my family uh, during the event. Yeah. Soul does not ask you to destroy people. Soul does not ask you or require you to retaliate. It doesn't ask you or demand of you to dominate someone else. No. Soul will always give you options. And if you are open to it, soul will communicate, ask questions, and help you come to your own conclusions about what is the best way forward. That is how soul loves you. That is how soul loves, okay? So the last card was move forward, right? Move forward. Well, this next card is intuition in reverse. It's going to be very hard to move forward if you don't have the appropriate type of logic and perception. It's going to be really hard. People think they have all the answers until they are faced with that situation in real life. And all the considerations and scenarios that you're playing in your head, it's all going to mean nothing because it wasn't properly thought of. I was scrolling through Instagram earlier today And I came across a post, right? It was a Ring video of 3 individuals who were in the process of trying to steal someone's car that's parked in front of their house. Now, in the Ring video, obviously they're masked. One of the perpetrators is facing the door, and he has what appears to be a hand pew pew with a drum attached. A drum is a very high capacity mag. I'll show you. Right? That circle, that's a drum. That has a very high capacity. I'm aware of those. And so there's the question of you get a Ring alert on your phone, and this is what you see in the driveway. What's your move? Well, a ton of people are saying all these things like, one guy thinks he's from Wakanda. He's going to release his dobies and just like, and all of these people are like, oh, it's target practice from the upstairs window and this and that. And I'm like, the logic that's being used is very illogical for this circumstance. You're making decisions based on emotion. And this is the same thing that applies to spiritual journeys. If you're going to base your logic on emotion, distorted perception, you're going to put yourself in a situation that is very, very not good for you. So I commented, people are quick to speak with zero tactical logic. It's a tactical situation. You need tactical logic. If you don't have multiple high capacity mags ready and already developed the skill to quickly swap out those mags, have a high accuracy rate, or multiple folks strategically positioned to counter high capacity firing with crossfire, you might want to reassess your logic because clearly you're not thinking tactically. Yeah. Be tactical in your logic. Assume if one has a drum locked in, they all have drums. Lack of ear protection or no suppressors alone can disorient you once the blicks start blicking. Tactical logic is crucial. You have to use the appropriate logic for the circumstance that you are facing. If you are facing someone who is narcissistic, you have to use logic that is rooted in an understanding of human psychology. If what you're dealing with is a tactical situation, you have to use logic that is rooted in tactical logic. I mean, people don't think about these types of things. They just don't. They just don't. They don't. They think they're big and bad and like, I know my size. Most people are bigger than me. If I'm getting myself into a situation or a situation is being forced upon me, I have to take all of these limiting factors into consideration. If you have no experience with spiritual processes, ascension mechanics, twin flame connections, and all of these other things that are spiritual in nature, parasitic thought inception, parasitic dysregulatory syndrome, all of these different things, right? Most people don't know about those things. Well, now's the perfect time to begin familiarizing yourself with it so that when you need the knowledge, at least to some degree, you've already cultivated it. At least to some degree, you have already cultivated it. If you treat life like it's a game, which in those comments, people were treating it like it's a game, that is not a game. That is not a game, especially with children in the house. That is not a game. If you treat life like a game, expect to be played. Unfortunately, if you treat life like a game, expect to be played. At some point, even if you are the number one player, you will come across a person who is much more skilled than you at the game you are playing. And that's going to create a cluster fluff of frustration and missed potentiality because you did not factor that in. One of my kids, well, all of my kids are like geniuses, not even joking, like literal. And so one of my kids, when he was maybe, and it's still like a running joke in our family, when he was, I think he was like 3 years old. I think he was around 3 years old. I didn't really let my kids play video games. I felt like it was inappropriate. I felt like kids should not have toys that require batteries for as long as I possibly could hold it off, which is basically their first couple years of life. And so when he finally got the opportunity to play a video game, the only game that I allowed him to play was Puzzle Fighter. You guys know what that game is? It's basically like a hybridized game involving Street Fighter characters and Tetris. It's kind of like a Tetris game. And you have to blow up these jewels and you have to stack them and organize them by color and all of that, right? So he gets to play this and um he's like ridiculously good at pattern recognition, all of these other things. I know because he was invited to be part of Mensa and they were telling me all of this information. So we bring Puzzle Fighter because he requests to play it at his godmother's house. He wants to play it with her and her friends. Mind you, her and her friends, they're like in their early 30s, right? Yeah, they're like in their early 30s and stuff. And my kid's like 3 years old. And all of these adult guys, they do a tournament against him. They're all ganged up against a 3-year-old. Every single one, he beat them one after the other after the other. I mean, the room was yelling already by the time it was like, all right, that's enough. All of the dudes were yelling, not at him, not at my kid, but just yelling because this toddler can't be beat by anyone else. They did not factor in his degree of intelligence and pattern recognition. They all knew he's ridiculously smart. They all knew this. But they were fueled by their emotions. I know. That it was hilarious to me. I was just like, "This is what you get. Next." Next. Yeah. They were all fueled by their emotions. They didn't factor in the pertinent information that needed to be factored in. They were not being logical in their assessment. They weren't. I don't know if one of them was able to almost win, but he lost at the last minute. I want to say that was like the final game. And that person did not approach it as though they were playing a toddler. They didn't approach that game as though they were playing a toddler. They approached it like it was a tournament and they're going to win. All costs, they're going to win. They don't care if they make this kid cry. And they came very close. But at the last second, he dropped all the jewels on that guy and he lost. You got to factor in the things that are important, that are needing to be factored in. And all of these things that are needing to be factored in, everything you've been waiting for, you guys, this is everything you've been waiting for. To lose all of that simply because you didn't use the appropriate logic for the circumstance you are presented with. That's a damn shame. That is a damn shame. Never approach a circumstance presented to you by soul as though you know how this will pan out. I'm often given a very good indicator from soul, um, the different potentialities that are being presented. And I'm always like, okay, I would like that, but we will see. Show me and I'll believe it. I'll accept it. But until I see it, it's just an idea. It's just an idea. Something that I can stay focused on so that I could maybe bring that to fruition. But I'm never in this space of like, oh no, it's going to happen like this because I said so. Like, yeah, because you said so. Okay. Whenever it gets that way for me, where it's like, no, I refuse to see any other potentialities. It's going to end up a specific way because this is the way. This is the only potential. I won't give any other potentials any space. And the last time I did that, the last time I did that was June 2019. And I absolutely wrecked myself. Because I had been shown over and over and over again that my mother's primary exit date from this life was in September, and it was only June. And I didn't want to hear nothing about any other potentialities. Failing to factor in, she is a sovereign. She gets the final say in how long she will be here. And she decided she wanted to leave in June, not September. Man, I learned that lesson real good. As long as I learned what I needed to learn, there is nothing that I should regret. There will be things that I don't understand, things that will take quite a few more years for me to accept, things that I've worked really hard to accept already. All I know is I learned with every part of me. I learned with every part of me that broke that day. A very difficult lesson. And no matter how much you feel you've been broken, you'll find a way to get through, to pick up your pieces, and to keep going. That's your only option. That is the only option. Because whatever purpose you are here to fulfill, soul never goes back on a promise. Ever. Ever. It just doesn't. Stay in your space of integrity. Part of your integrity has to do with you respecting what your process actually is. Part of your integrity has to do with recognizing you do not dictate when you will transform and when a transformation will not be allowed, right? You either live through it or you get dragged by it. That's a very difficult message to receive, but it's the reality of an ascension mechanic. It's the reality of it. You simply have to surrender to the process that you're in, because the process that you're in is the very thing that brings out the worlds within worlds. It is the very process that brings out the part of you that needs to be front and center in order for you to receive what your soul is trying to give you. What is your soul trying to give you? What is rightfully yours? That is what your soul is trying to give you. It is trying to give you back what is rightfully yours. For many of us, we will be very nervous. We will be very afraid. It's okay. Keep going anyways. Keep going anyways. You will acclimate. You will come to specific realizations. Things will work out for you. Don't allow yourself to become impatient with your process. Whatever is happening, whatever is happening, it's in your best interest, even if you don't understand. It is in your best interest. Your life is being shifted and adjusted. And it's being done so in a way that will help everything come together just right. I get this visual of a Indiana Jones movie. I don't know if y'all are Indiana Jones fans. That entire franchise was super popular in the 80s and I think also the 90s, early 90s, right? And it's this visual. I forget which movie it is exactly, but he was in some subterranean space. And obviously, it's very ancient because that's the premise of Indiana Jones. Everything he gets himself into has to do with ancient artifacts and esoterica and whatnot. And in this subterranean chamber, it's like dark. And in order to win, in order to subdue the evil or whatever it was, he had to adjust one mirror, just one mirror. And when he made that adjustment and shifted it into just the perfect angle, it was able to reflect the light from above ground towards another mirror and another and another and another. All of these mirrors very carefully calibrated in their position. And next thing you know, this entire subterranean chamber was completely lit up. And that is a type of adjustment that your soul is making for you. That's what this person is. Whoever this person is for you. They are the ones that are going to cause you to choose to recalibrate the positioning in order to spread your light through the entirety of your space. You're going to step out of this much stronger than you realize. You're going to tap into a strength that you didn't know you have. This type of strength, I think every time it has shown itself during your lifetime, this type of strength has been labeled by others as you being difficult, you being drama, you being a pain in the ass. So you've convinced yourself that you're only acceptable when you exist in a space of weakness, in a space of compliance, right? And that's not what you were made for. And so soul is causing you to go through what you're going through or what you will go through in order for the adjustment to happen. And as that adjustment happens, man, the amount of light, the amount of energy, the amount of awareness you're going to develop, and it is going to affect your very human existence, the human part of you, the human part, there's a hair, the human part of your life. It's going to be beneficial not just on an energetic level, not just on a spiritual level. It's going to reverberate through your entire existence. But there are choices to make. There are plenty of choices to make. You need to choose carefully. Why do you need to choose carefully? Well, because there's unnecessary complications. And if you choose the unnecessary complications, it's going to delay your process, right? Ooh, blissful. Yep, absolutely. 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 Blissful says, I've had to remind myself lately that if people love you only when you're compliant, that's not love. It's not love. And when they try and gaslight you into compliance because they say, oh, you're so difficult. I love you so much. You're so difficult. Why do you always have to make everything so hard? Because they're trying to force you into a space of compliance. That's not love either. That's emotional manipulation. It's not love. So be aware of those things. Be aware of the types of connections that you have with others and their effects on you. Okay. You're going to be reaching new dimensions of awareness about yourself, your journey, your life, right? Now, as you go through this process of increasing your level of awareness, we are all awake. I know that was so condescending of me. um, we are all awake. All of us. What we're struggling with is the degree of permission we are giving ourselves to be fully cognitive of our level of awareness. You see, oftentimes you are much more aware of other people's intentions, the trajectory of what's happening, all of these different things, right? It's called intuition. And even though you're aware, you're being given advanced knowledge and it makes sense, you tell yourself, like, no, oh my gosh, that was just coincidence. There's no way. That was just a coincidence. I'm just tripping. I'm just being paranoid. No, baby boo, that's coincidence. No. Paranoia? No. No, it's not. It's intuitive knowing. You just know. You just know. When you don't listen to that knowing, when you try and convince yourself, you fall into the trap. You become trapped. I've shared this before. We were on an RV trip with my mother, cross country, and we arrived at the RV park that we wanted to stay at that night. Pretty late at night. It was already dark. And as soon as everything was hooked up, and he put us right beside the river. So when we wake up, the kids would see the river. He thought it would be amazing. The owner thought it would be amazing. We're like, oh, thank you. And as soon as we all lay down to go to bed, because we're all exhausted, I had to sit up and be like, we can't stay here. And my husband's like, I'm not driving anywhere. I'm tired. Well, baby boo, you married a badass fucking wife. Yes, I could drive anything. This shit was a 39-foot RV, 39 feet. I mean, that's basically a bus. And he said he couldn't drive. He's tired. He didn't want to. And I was like, okay, well, unhook everything. I'll drive. I don't give a shit. I'll drive. We can't be here. We can't stay here. And so I drove for hours. I drove, not knowing where to go, but I just drove. I knew we could not be there. Wouldn't you know, the next day, saw on the news. We were in a gift shop and we saw on the news the next morning. That town flooded. No way in, no way out. National Guard would have to airdrop supplies. And we were right beside the river that flooded the entire town. No, we wasn't. We were for like 30 minutes. I listened to my intuition. I was like, nope, we got to go. We need to leave. We cannot stay here. Everyone thought I was crazy because it sounded crazy. I don't care. Nope. I don't feel right. Something feels really, really off. I don't know what it is, but we got to go. We got to go. We're going. We're going. I'm going. Don't fall into the trap. The main trap is you not listening to your intuition. Okay, so maybe if you're wrong, okay, then you're wrong. And what did that hurt? What did that hurt? Right? This is about allowing yourself to recognize the ways in which you're not doing the shadow work in the way you need to. Part of the shadow work is allowing yourself to embrace the parts of you that have the capacity to warn you in advance, to guide you to a space of safety, to show you who is a sanctuary for your heart and who is just faking it. That's the truth of shadow work. People think that it's a journal. I mean, if it helps you. People think that it's a meditation. I mean, if it helps you. What really is shadow work, Emmy? Going through the process and living through the experiences that give you a very clear understanding of the parts of you that you are rejecting and the negative ramifications on your life whenever you reject that part of you that has the courage to speak up and protect you. That's what shadow work is. It's difficult. But the things that cultivate the most powerful parts of you are often difficult. Right? You go to the gym, you lift weights that are not difficult. Do you grow to the degree that you want to grow? No. No, you don't. You probably tighten up those muscles a little bit. You want to experience hypertrophy? You're going to have to earn that. You're going to have to lift heavy. You're going to have to push yourself. Same thing with shadow work. Same thing with shadow work. Clarifier. For many of us, we don't have the clarity we need. And that's why the shadow work becomes something that is very convoluted, something that is very diluted. It takes more than being aware. True shadow work requires you to do something with the parts that you become aware of. It takes more than being aware. Royal return, but it's in reverse. This tells me that there are still those of us who refuse to accept, to embrace that there is a portion of divine royalty that resides within you. And because of this, you must always decide, choose the very option that keeps your divine dignity intact. You must always exist with dignity. integrity. If you can get to that part, you will absolutely progress. There will be a break in the clouds, a break in the darkness. You will begin to be able to see things a little more clearly, more clarity, more understanding. All of these really, really just inspirational things that we think are meant to simply inspire. I have a very distinct relationship with inspirational words. Not just words that are inspirational that come from me, but all words that cause increases in levels of inspiration. I have a very unique relationship with them. And what is that relationship? Why is it unique? Well, here's the thing. I firmly believe that inspirational words are not there to simply inspire you. Inspirational words, when heard from a space of neutral observation, they become the instructions from soul. Instructions from soul. Love it. Love it. Let me see. Let me find something inspirational. Something that just makes me feel like, oh, yes. Yes. Absolutely. I have no inspirational stuff. It's all workout stuff. It is. It's all workout stuff. Yeah, I'm not gonna find anything because it's all workout stuff and all baby animal stuff. Okay. Okay. Here's a page that I like. Um. Oh. Oh. Oh my God! Chills. It says, "I broke my own damn heart." I have several times already. I broke my own damn heart by continuously creating fantasies in my head of us being together, pretending that you would someday love me again, but deep down within, I knew you would never love me the way I wanted you to. I don't resonate with that. I broke my own damn heart. I broke my own damn heart when I refused to listen to the truth that was coming out of it and instead believed the lie that I was creating with the stories that I told myself about my lack of worth, my lack of purpose, lack of gravity, and lack of divinity. I broke my own damn heart every time I refused to see myself exactly the way that I am. I broke my own damn heart every time I listened to the words that were designed to degrade me coming out of the mouths of the very people who were already broken themselves. I broke my own damn heart. It's true. All of it. All of the ways in which I broke myself. And as I began to increase in my awareness of what was being broken and why, I then began to realize and accept I wasn't being broken down. I was being broken open. And it was my heart that needed to break, because it's from my heart that my light shines the brightest. The way soul speaks, it is a living poetry. And if you allow yourself to truly listen, inspired by a handful of words that someone else wrote, you begin to get the roadmap of how to get back home to yourself. Do I need to be angry with myself for the ways in which I perceived I betrayed me by putting other people's needs before my own, other people's preferences before my own needs? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Everything I went through, I had to, as it cultivated parts of me that needed, wanted to be allowed to shine, not for recognition, but because part of my purpose is to fill the world with a degree of illumination that all of us have the opportunity to find ourselves the road back home to us. A lot happens during an ascension cycle, a lot of contemplation, a lot of cultivation of your awareness of yourself. Chris commented this: I give you permission to put all your demons inside me. I'll deal with it while I'm loving you wholly. I love this and feel it is the true essence of a real man. I used to think that. And then a real man crossed my path and loved me so deeply and profoundly, unconditionally, wholeheartedly. And he did this not by requesting I put all my demons inside him. No. He did this by holding a perimeter that kept all the other things out, causing me to feel so safe that I could begin addressing my demons myself. Because for me to put my demons inside of him, that is him robbing me of my own potential, my opportunity to learn, to cultivate my power over myself, my thoughts, and my feelings. I was never a damsel as much as I wanted to be. So that would never work for me. And I am very blessed to have found a man who sees me for what I am and has never asked me to play a damsel in order for him to feel like my savior. Instead, he has neutrally observed my process, encouraged my process of remembering my history as a warrior queen. My husband lets me handle everything that I want to handle myself. And when he sees that it's something I don't want to handle, he lets his presence be known. And he allows me to choose if I want to try again or if I need him to step in. All this done without words. Done without words. That is the essence of a powerful man. That your actions speak much louder than any words, any promises you could speak. That is a healing presence to be in. I'm very, very blessed to have had that for 25 years at this point. That's how long I've been on this journey of reclaiming myself. It started the day I met him, and it's continued up to this day. This is a process that's been so difficult, yet so rewarding at the same time. You are worth it. Everything you've been waiting for, it's begging to come home to you. All the potential, all the abundance, all of the peace, all of the awareness of how strong and capable you actually are. It's okay. Many of us are unable to see ourselves. That's okay. You'll get there. You'll be able to see it because your soul is making sure that you do. This is the process that you're in now. We're approaching the 111 portal. It's tomorrow. It's also new moon in Capricorn. The expedites that I have available for tomorrow, you can see it by clicking on the QR code on the screen or the link in the comments. Tomorrow's fire ceremony is unlike any other. There have been tremendous energies that have accrued since the 1111 portal all the way through till now. You guys notice I didn't do a fire ceremony on the 1st. There were a lot of dark things, dark codes, trying to piggyback through that portal window. Now, there is an alignment that's occurring. 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. 3 being a solid foundation from which to rise and build. You're being invited to do so by soul. You're being asked to do so by soul. It's time. It is very much time for you to begin the process. And if you need some assistance with your own personal process, there are expedites that can help you. From readings to bioscans to an entire menu of activations, advanced activations that have the potentiality to affect your physiological and mental health, somatic releases, fascia clearings, lymphatic clearings, like respiratory rejuvenation, etheric immunotherapy. Like, please, boo. It's time. This is important. Just like for me, it's time to no longer hide some of the most highly developed skills that I have. It's awkward. Michael says to use a specific adjective, and it's awkward for me. It's awkward for me because of a lot of the different religious programmings that I grew up with. I'm just going to quote him because I don't want to claim it as that. I'm just going to quote him. Messianic level corrections. Messianic. He says that word is foreign to most. So I must, this makes it even more awkward. So I must define it for you. I am basing it off of the definition online. Messianic adjective relating to the Messiah, inspired by hope or belief in a Messiah, fervent or passionate. Yeah, messianic. This guy has a way with words, word selection. So, yes, the time for hiding is done. It's time for all of us to step back into our proper places. Your proper place is not beneath someone's boot. It is not behind someone else who wants to shine brighter than you. We have to step out of that compete, compare program. We have to allow, mind-blowing phenomena that we have all been waiting for. Y'all, I'm not even joking. Okay. Listen, I'm going to show you something on the screen, okay? All right. Okay. I'm going to show you this because you need to see it. The degree of confirmation is a redonkulous. Mind-blowing phenomena that we have all been waiting for. Even though that was not directed towards me, I appreciate the confirmation. Healing is possible. It's all about attitude and mindset. Attitude and mindset. Do we have something for you today? That's the next notification that just came through. Your soul is trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you something powerful, something very profound. So I'll leave you guys with this final thought because I need to, hold on, I need to get ready for a session. Here's the thing. When you have traumas that you refuse to address, emotional traumas especially, that gets stored in your body, either in your fascia or your musculature, your muscle fibers, which are encased in fascia, right? That is how we store that energy, that lesson, that potential for later in life when we've reached a higher degree of maturity. Now, what most people don't realize, because we're unaware of what's stored, it just stays there. Because we're unaware that something is stored, something that relates to trauma, it stays there and it causes symptomatic presentation. You constantly have an achy shoulder. Yeah. You're always going like this, like, oh, my shoulders hurt. Oh, my neck is tight. Oh, my jaw. How many of you have TMJ? Your jaw is tight. You grind your teeth at night, right? Oh, my back. My low back is always sore. Oh, my knees always hurt. Are you aware? And you can look this up. There's been a lot of studies that have been done. And if you really want to know what the studies are, I'm not going to cite the sources because my memory is shit. But I do know this for a fact. If you go and look, there are medical studies that have been done that show knee pain. That's because you're not supporting yourself. Back pain, back injury, especially low back. That's because you feel unsupported by the people around you. You've been doing things yourself for far too long. You have an issue with your SOS? That's a connector between your divinity and your physicality. It connects your upper and lower body. It anchors into the spine, which gives you your form. And then it anchors into your pelvis. It's a large part of how you walk. If you refuse to allow yourself to stand tall and walk through life with your power and dignity intact, you're going to have problems with those things. You putting everyone else's needs first? completely ignoring your own. I get it. I'm not even trying to shame you. I get it. You see, I did that for so long. That's what caused my knee pain. I did that for so long and committed to that martyrdom so deeply that I had an orthopedic surgeon tell me I needed double total knee replacement at 26 years old. I refused. No, I'm good. I'm good. I refused. 26 years old. Nearly 20 years later, I can leg press over 500 pounds. No knee surgeries. My knees are strong as fuck these days. Had herniated discs in my low back. It's bad. I was advised to get 4 vertebrae fused. 2 of my discs were bulged. Could barely do anything. These days, I can deadlift like a motherfucker. Hip thrust, because I have my L5S1. That's my primary bulge disc, my primary injury, and I have degenerated disc disease. That's what they told me. Quite a few years they told me this. Multiple professionals in their field told me this. That's why their answer was to fuse my disc, fuse my vertebrae. Yeah, no, these days, easily. Hip thrust, 500 pounds, 4 or 5 sets of that. Yeah, absolutely. No more back pain. No more back pain. I don't need no kind of surgery. Your body is telling you what's happening with you. It is communicating to you the ways in which you are abandoning yourself, the ways in which you are giving other people permission to treat you poorly. You got to do something. You got to start today. Do something. Allow yourself to receive help. Ask for it. Seek it out. Give yourself the clarity you are so desperate to have. Do it. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself, right? Do it for yourself. This is a period that marks the start of the next part of our lives for many of us. Here's the thing. If you are going to choose to revert back to that same pattern when you're being given an opportunity, yikes. Yikes. Very much yikes. You will absolutely go back to square one. Excuse me. You, despite having this opportunity to be not just catapulted, but trebucheted, which is more intense. Trebuchet forward. Yeah, no, you're going to end up staying in the same place, having the same feelings, which will be amplified and further distorted. And then you'll blame yourself or you'll blame others. And the blaming doesn't do anything except make you more bitter. And then you won't want to take accountability for your life. And it's just such a difficult and slippery slope doing that type of thing. It's much easier to simply keep pushing forward and allow yourself to continue to grow and receive the very thing that you need the most, which is what? It's everything you've been waiting for. What have you been waiting for? And that's what you need the most right now. Have you been waiting for an opportunity? Have you been waiting to be heard? Have you been waiting to be seen, recognized, credited for what you contribute to a group or a project? Have you been waiting for love? Have you been waiting for a friend as loyal as you? You see, I used to wait for those things. And then I realized what I was really waiting for was for me to do those things for myself. Have you ever invested so much of yourself into a friendship or relationship only to get to a point where it's like you feel as though it's just not fair? Why can't I have a friend like me? Why can't someone love me the way I love all of these people? You call me and I'll be there. You can trust me. I will speak up for you and I will defend you and I will this and I will that. And it's not fair because they won't do that for you. You do that for them. Why won't they do that for you? Because, honey, you've been investing in the wrong thing. Just because you pour into someone else does not obligate them to pour into you from their own cup. You're forcing them to be the middleman. Pour into your own cup yourself. Trust yourself. Trust your intuitive knowing. Speak up for yourself. Don't allow people to treat you poorly. Defend yourself. Be all of these things for yourself that you're being for someone else in hopes that they will do it for you. There is no reason you cannot do it for yourself. First and foremost, I've been on this journey trying to learn to do this for some time now. And man, it's life-changing. It is life-changing. Life-changing. It is just wow. And because I do these things for myself now, I don't necessarily rely on someone else to be a reflection of me. Instead, I can enjoy the people in my life for who they are without me silently, secretly being like, well, I hope they say something for me. I hope they stick up for me. I hope this and I hope that. No, it is not their job to do that. I don't get to dictate to them how to love me. Now that I'm loving myself in the way I deserve, and it's pretty early on in that process, but now that I'm doing that, man, I could just appreciate other people so much more. There's no more of that silent fear that this person is going to confirm that I don't deserve to be loved. I don't deserve anything. Because that's how we really take it, right? That's how we take it. When we pour into someone and they don't pour into us, instead of seeing it as, you know what, I should have poured into myself. I mean, they weren't even asking for me to do any of those things. They weren't asking me to. I did it because I wanted them to learn to pour into me. And yeah, but when you pour into yourself instead, you begin to realize how unfair you've been to others as well as to yourself. You begin to see how you mistakenly took someone else's sovereign right to choose whether or not they will mimic, reflect back to you the behaviors. You get to see that they're not bad people, that them choosing to love you in their own way by using their own love language is not confirmation that you're not lovable and that nobody cares. I've been slowly learning that many people care, that I am lovable, and that people have their own ways of expressing their love towards me, and that the way they choose to express that love. It's very valid. It's very beautiful, and it's very much appreciated. I know love is not always softly spoken, encouraging words. I think the most powerful types of love are very much rooted in truth and carry with it the intention of encouraging you to seek out truth rather than to be blinded or distorted in your clarity about what's actually happening. So I came across some information. It was like a download, right? And I was like really upset with it. And I go and I message my two BFFs and I'm like, oh my God, I just got this information. Right. um, and it was kind of like, information about a lifetime where I was confined in a subterranean chamber. Um, and that was a very difficult experience for me. I'm still trying to process it. And so I'm like on the cusp of tears telling them this, like, oh my God. And one goes, dang, that sucks, basically, right? Like, yeah. And then the other one says, like, what would have something along the lines of, would it have been better if you weren't? Immediately, that like snapped me out of my fucking bullshit that I was stirring. That BFF totally just gently tipped over the steaming hot pot of bullshit that I was stirring. She's like, "Nope, I'm not serving that tonight." And it's like, because I already had an awareness, like there was no other option. I was out of control. I had to be confined in that life. And just that, and it was a gentle energy. It wasn't like you're fucking tripping. No, it was a gentle energy like, would it have been better if you weren't? I know it wouldn't have been better if I wasn't, because in that life, I wanted to a lot of people. And it was like, no, no, it wouldn't have been better. No. That's why, like, I needed that. I needed that. Because logically, I'm like, no, there was no other option. I shouldn't be angry. This is fascinating information. Emotionally, I was like, they put me in timeout underground. Yeah, no, I was like discombobulated for a moment, just like a second or two, honestly, because that was the immediate response. And I was like, "Oh, that's why I fucking love you guys." I needed to hear that. I needed that very gentle, like, girl, hey, don't start that shit. Don't start that shit. As soon as I read that, my emotions shifted like back to neutral. Like, no, it really, there was nothing else that could be done. That's what needed to happen. I needed to be confined until I used up enough of my full on rage that I could be back in control of myself, back in a space of dignified existence, in a space of integrity. It was necessary. It's necessary, right? So, you know, real love sets you free from the storyline you're telling yourself. Sometimes that real love comes from people who genuinely love you. And sometimes that love comes from yourself, regardless of where it comes from. When it is rooted in truth and integrity, allow yourself to receive it. Everything you've been waiting for is coming back home to you. It's coming back home to you. Come home to mama. Okay, guys, I will be live tomorrow, I believe 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I believe. I don't know time. I think it's like 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Anyways, if you want to join me, you definitely can. I'm going to be doing a fire ceremony and a luminous light ceremony. It's going to be amazing. If you want some energetic work, go check out this QR code or the link in the comment. and you'll be able to see everything I have to offer. Look at all the special expedites that I'm offering, the 111 portal special expedites. I added quite a few that are potentially beneficial in a physical way, potentially beneficial for, physical conditions. I'm super excited to begin sharing this next part of my journey with you guys and letting you see more of the gravity of what I actually do with the work that I do. I'm very excited. I'm finally getting to a place where it's like it's okay for people to see and know that there are humans who exist who can do these things, right? Or we can help each other. There's ways to get back to true health. There are. There are. All right, I gotta go. Love you guys. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I'll see y'all again soon, most likely tomorrow. Find me across all social media. I'm evolving across the board. I do plan to go live on TikTok very soon. I have my new mics. I'm going to test them out. And um la, 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 la. Oh, very, very final thing. Soul Sanctuary. Our private chat is going to be Saturday morning because I have things to share with you guys and I need time to quantify everything. I was going to go live this evening. I need time to quantify. There's more information coming in. Okay. So I'll see you guys. I got to go. Love you. Thumbs up. Follow me everywhere. Love you, love you, love you.